Hi everybody, it's Monday afternoon, April 20th. I wanted to just make a quick little video of some bridging so you guys could work on some bridges while you're at home sheltering in place. So I am going to do some variations of a bridge. I do have a little Pilates ball that I'm going to use. You can use something at your knees or not. If you don't have a ball, you could use, you could roll up a towel and put something there. If you have a different ball, maybe it's a little smaller, but that would work too. But you can also do these without using a ball at all. Okay, so here we go. My dog is in here in the kitchen, so she may or may not walk in and out of this video. We shall see. Seems like as soon as I lay down, she gets very interested in what I'm up to. Okay, here we go. So, I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and have your feet probably about hip width apart. You could have them together, but I'm gonna keep mine about hip width apart. Stack the spine nice and tall. You can hold your hands just behind your knees, and then I want you to draw those abdominals in and slowly roll your spine all the way down to your mat. Okay, here comes my dog, but maybe she's gonna go the other direction and stay out of the camera. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna come all the way down. All right, I'm going to slide down just a little bit because I think I may have just come out of your view. All right, and here we are. So again, we've got our feet about hip width apart. Abdominals are drawing in nice and tight, okay? Hands just at your sides. Just relax your shoulders down. On your inhale, I want you to go ahead and tilt your pelvis back so that you're going to imprint your spine to the floor, okay? And then on your exhale, I want you to go ahead and tip the pelvis forward, again, down towards the 6 o'clock. So we talk about this in the studio with our clocking. So as you tilt your pelvis back, imprinting your spine, you're tilting your pelvis back towards 12 o'clock. And then as you tilt forward, you're going to tip back towards the 6 o'clock. So just a reminder, I'm not usually too concerned about how much focus you put on the tipping towards the 6 o'clock. I'm a little bit more focused on tilting back towards the 12. Try to keep your glutes relaxed. You're going to inhale again, tilt the pelvis back, keeping your glutes relaxed. Tilt back to 12, and then you're going to tip forward to 6. And then one more time, tilt it back to 12 o'clock. And then tip forward to 6. Now 6 o'clock, and then finding neutral position here for the spine. Okay, neutral, you've got a little bit of space underneath your low back. Relax the shoulders down again. All right, so now let's go ahead and tilt the pelvis back towards the 12 o'clock. Squeeze your glutes now, one vertebrae at a time. You're going to peel your spine, coming up to your shoulder blades, keeping the rib cage knitting down nice and tight. And then one vertebrae at a time, you're going to peel that spine back down to your mat. When you get to the bottom, you can relax the glutes. So I'm just going to reach my arms straight up towards the ceiling and draw the shoulders down. This is just another variation. I'm actually just lifting so that you can maybe see the spine articulating a little bit easier with my arms out of the way. But this is also another variation you can do. As soon as you bring your hands up away from the floor, you have to use your core stabilizers a little bit more in order to keep everything nice and organized. So peeling the spine back down. Remember, bone by bone, one vertebra at a time. Inhale again, tilt the pelvis back, squeeze those glutes and peel up to the shoulder bridge. Again, remember with the bridging, we don't want to come all the way up and then press the rib cage up. You want to keep the ribs down and kind of stop there at your shoulder blades. And then one vertebrae at a time, you're going to peel the spine back down. Now I'm starting to get a little bit of heat into the legs as I'm doing this. You're kind of pressing down into your feet. Coming up again into that bridge. Now I'm going to have you hold this bridge position. You're going to squeeze your glutes, press those hips up high, knit those ribs down just a little bit more. Nice, and just hold the bridge position. So you're squeezing those glutes, reaching the arms up, or maybe you prefer to keep your arms down at your sides. Either is fine. Again, pressing firm into your heels. Again, I can feel my quads starting to heat up here. Glutes really starting to heat up as well. Abs are drawing in nice and tight, and you're knitting down through the rib cage. Good. Holding there, just a few more breaths. There's my little doggy with her cast. You can hear the little thunk thunk. Okay, here we go. One vertebrae at a time. Let's peel that spine right back down. Good. All right, now, if you have a ball or if you have a towel, you can use a towel, but you're going to place that ball. I like to place it there at my knees, but you can also place it further down, depending on where you decide to go with that. It's just going to work different adductors, different inner thigh muscles. I like to keep it at my knees because it tends to keep my quads are pretty tight, and when I put that at my knees, it keeps the pulling that I might sometimes get across my knees. All right, so then you're going to go ahead and squeeze that ball. You're just going to stay here with your back all the way down here in that imprinted position. So you've got a little bit of a pelvic tilt. And let's just squeeze that ball or the towel or whatever you have there. You can also squeeze, bring the feet together and just squeeze the feet and the knees together, okay? So as you're doing this squeezing, I'm gonna ask you to not use your glutes here. I want you to just fire those inner thighs without using any glutes. So we try not to let the glutes help just yet. Good, it's just kind of heating up those inner thighs. And again, maintaining that, not neutral, but that imprinted spine position. Good, as we're going. Okay, now you're going to hold here, imprinted spine. You're going to squeeze that ball, still keeping the glutes relaxed. You can really feel those inner thighs firing. Now you're going to go ahead and squeeze the glutes, and then one vertebrae at a time. I'm going to have you go ahead and peel up to, again, that shoulder bridge. You're going to stop at the shoulder blades, not high up. We're not working to try to come into back bends. We're going to stay in working those core stabilizers a little bit more. So now here, you're going to continue. I want you to do a little squeeze pulse of the ball, okay? Glutes engaged. Should feel your hamstrings, the back of the legs, the inner thighs. Abs nice and tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Woo. Heating up those inner thighs and the glutes. Good. All right, you're going to squeeze and hold here. All right, one vertebrae at a time. Let's go ahead and peel that spine back down, okay? Now, another variation here. I'm going to kind of heat up a little bit more. So I want you to take your feet into functional turnout. That's that little Pilates V with your feet. Heels are together and the toes are out. And the heels, you're going to probably bring them a little closer in towards your butt, okay? So you're going to go ahead, again, arms, I'm reaching mine up here so you can see what I'm doing, but you can have the arms up or you can have the arms down. All right, here we go. You're going to, one vertebrae at a time, start to peel up into that bridge position, stopping at the at the shoulder blades, knitting down through the ribs. And then from here, I'm going to have you go ahead and you're going to lift your heels. Doesn't have to be really high, a little high, kind of low, high heel position. Press those heels together tight, squeeze the glutes, and then continue to squeeze the ball. So really starting to fatigue more into the inner thighs and the glutes and the hamstrings. Good. Maintaining the position of the pelvis. So pelvis is not rocking. If you feel like you can't stay high up, just come back down a little bit lower. I always say, I'm not concerned about how high your bridge is. I'm concerned about how stable your bridge is. Good. Just keep squeezing. Squeeze that ball. Squeeze tight through the inner thighs. Good. Squeeze and hold. And one vertebrae at a time. You're going to peel that spine right back down. Nice. Let's take the ball out. I know my inner thigh is waiting for a stretch, but not quite yet. We're gonna finish here with twisting, a little bit of spinal rotation. So again, I'm just gonna bring my arms up so you can see that spinal articulation. Tilt the pelvis back, squeeze your glutes one vertebrae at a time. You're gonna peel up to your shoulder blades, holding there, knit down through the ribs, hollow out through the abdominals, and now you're going to twist. Again, we talk about this being 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Now you're gonna twist from 3 to 9. So you're gonna twist down towards 3. Oh, I got a nice little pop and adjustment in my lower back. And then over to 9, right? Side to side. So what you want you to just notice in your own body is if it feels like you can rotate a lot more in one direction than the other, it's very common. Just indicating a little bit tighter on one side, probably, you know, maybe they're at the QL. Could be a little oblique strength, but I tend to think it has more to do with the tightness. Good, twisting, side to side. Good. Come back to center, hold there at the top, squeeze those glutes, and one vertebrae at a time. You're gonna go ahead and peel that spine back down to the bottom. Okay, so only thing I wanna show you here is just another variation to change things a little bit where you would do a single leg bridge. With the single leg bridge, you can opt to have both legs down, peel up to your bridged position, and then once you get to that bridge position, you can float one leg up into tabletop. So that's maybe a little bit of an easier version of doing the single leg bridge. Otherwise, you can start with the leg already into the tabletop position. Remember, tabletop, knee is right over hip, so it's not in and it's not out, so you're not going into that hip flexor, but right, kind of knee right over hip, tabletop position, and then you're gonna go ahead, you can either articulate or just press the hips up. I like to articulate my bridges, so I'm gonna come up into that bridge position, and I'm gonna hold there at the top. Now I'm pressing firm into this front heel, and I can really feel that glute medius is working super hard to hold me nice and stable. So holding there, one vertebrae at a time, peel the spine back down. So that is if you want to articulate the spine. If you want to just pop those hips up, that works as well. Just pick the hips up. If that feels better in your spine, always, like we say in Pilates, if it doesn't feel good in your body, don't do it, right? You want to challenge, but we're not here to create issues. Okay, one more time, come down. And then last one, let's press up into that single leg bridge. So the single leg work is really great if you're really feeling like you're a lot stronger on one side of the body than the other. Good. We all are going to have a dominant side, but sometimes it's really profoundly stronger on one side than the other, okay? Switching sides, always, we want to, go ahead Becca, move it out of the way. We want to go ahead and come up into that bridge. Always want to keep things even, so you're going to press up. We're going to do 3 on this side as well. Good, one vertebrae at a time. Let's peel that spine back down. Good. Or just pick the hip up, press into the heel, squeeze that glute, feel that glute medius working hard, feel the hamstring working hard. And then you're going to bring it right back down. Good, and then one more time, let's take it up to that bridge, hold there at the top, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Ooh, getting a little bit trembly. Hi, Becca. And then slowly bring it back down. Nice. Now when you get to the bottom, you're going to go ahead and pull your knees into the chest. Just pull them in nice and tight. You can pull and lift. If you lift your hips up, you're probably going to feel a little bit more at the low back. Hi, Becca. I know. Good. Or if you do still have the ball, if you have it, if you don't have it, that's okay. You can lift your hips. I really like to do this. Kind of lift the hips, bring it here. And then pull those knees in. It gets a little extra stretch there at that lumbar. Oh, feels good. Good. Hey, Becca. Good. Send the legs straight up, and then final to stretch those inner thighs. You guys work those inner thighs pretty good here. So inner thigh stretch, you're just gonna go ahead and you're gonna take the legs wide. Again, you can do these with your hips up on the ball. Feels different than if your hips are down, but whatever works. Reach up, grab those toes, just pull, stretch the inner thighs. Nice, bring the knees into the chest. If you have the ball there, you're gonna lift your hips, take the ball out, and you are through. Nice little bridge sequence. Lovely, lovely, working your glutes, hamstrings, back of the body. So there it is. Little bit of work there with some bridging. I hope you guys had fun with that. And we will be posting some more short little videos that you guys can continue to do at home until we can finally get back into the studio. We are missing you all. Take care.